Welcome to Rowing Friends. Today we have a special guest, Lisa Hansen. She is a fellow University at Buffalo rowing alumnus, but her journey with rowing started later than most of her teammates. As a senior in college, Lisa finally gave rowing a try after playing for the University at Buffalo Women's Club lacrosse team for her sophomore and junior years. She immediately took to rowing and continued to row after graduation while completing her law degree. She competed for several different rowing clubs, development camps, and eventually borrowed a single from a generous West Side Rowing Club member so she could train to get fast enough to attend the U.S. national team speed orders. After ranking high enough at indoor erg races and speed orders, Lisa was invited to the U.S. Olympic Training Center in Chula Vista, California, as well as Princeton Training Center in New Jersey to compete for a spot on the national team in 2003. Her wins include both the senior women's single and double at Canadian Henley, several U.S. Rowing Club national titles, as well as a fourth-place finish in the Champ Women's Double and a ninth-place finish in the Champs Women's Single at Head of the Charles. Her coaching career includes assistant coaching at University at Buffalo, and presently she coaches the master's program at Indianapolis Rowing Center, as well as helping to advise her daughter, Devin, who competes at the youth program in the same club. We're excited to welcome Lisa to Rowing Friends. We hope you enjoy our conversation.
Yes,
I
it is
know.
so good to reconnect. Like, this is amazing.
I know,
hmm
I know. And
Yeah.
in the beginning, like we just were like, oh, well, we talked originally about doing the podcast. We were driving from Boston when I went to go get the dumpster double, and that's how we kind of decided that we were going to do this podcast. And like now it's kind of like grown its own
Sorry,
leg.
I'm drinking my raspberry
Oh, feel
Crystal
free, feel
Light.
free. It's a casual type of experience. So I'll grab my water bottle at certain
hmm
points too. But yeah, we were just like, yeah, we're just going to talk to people and talk rowing, and yeah, just tell us what's going on, what's new.
Well, I just want to say, like, this is so amazing. And I think maybe I texted you guys saying, like, I was in a carpool, like, driving some rowers, and I was, and teenage girls, and I don't know how old your daughters are or your sons or whatever, but they don't talk in the car. They just like stare at their phone. And I'm like, listen, my friends are doing this podcast and we're going to listen to it. And so we did. Like, we listened to Wendy's episode and like Todd Vote. Yeah, Todd Vote.
Yeah.
His episode. And
hmm
it's just so great what you guys are doing. Like, seriously, it's amazing. So yeah, I think it's so great.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
cool that they were listening. What did they
Well, thanks for being
all
part
the
of it.
story?
Yeah, we're having fun.
Yes, I hope so.
I don't know if I could get my kids to listen to it in the car, but we'll see. Maybe someday.
I mean, they didn't really have a choice. I'm
They're
like, this is
slowly
going
like
on,
people
like,
on the team. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Like slowly they're finding out. Like I said it at the regatta last weekend, because we recorded while I was there, and I was like, "Oh, I have to go back to my car," and they're like, "Oh, I have to go to my car too." Like, what are you doing? I'm like, "Actually, I'm gonna record a podcast in there," and they're like, "Oh yeah." Then like one parent was like, "Oh yeah, you gotta listen to it. I listened to it on my way to work," and Adrien got like firsthand like I'm like, oh no, the coach is calling me. This can't be good. But yeah, like I had ordered the food, that was my role on this Saturday, and we had to like regroup because the race was pretty unorganized, and it was supposed to be over like somewhere around 5, and it wasn't going to be over until like 7, so we had to like cancel the food because the food we ordered was supposed to be at the end, and there's no way the kids would have wanted to row after eating. It was pizza. So
wow.
anyway, that's
So
not what
you
we're here to
guys are
talk about.
still, so
I want to talk about you.
your kids are still racing. Like, they're still, I mean,
hmm
it's pretty early, I guess. Like, this is the thing, like with Indiana, and I know Kate, you're in New York. Adrian, you're in
hmm
New York, right?
Yep, I'm in there.
So when
hmm
we moved to Indy, it was ridiculous. Like, they start school so early. Like, Devin
Mhm.
starts next week, like
Oh
Oh
wow.
my God. Wow.
6.
Crazy.
So yeah, super crazy. But so you guys are still doing summer racing. That's great.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, we're going to be at Henley next weekend. So I
Yeah.
assume that you're not?
No, and
No, they
I
don't
mean,
race.
we could have signed her up, and I was thinking like, because I rode the single and I was like, you know what, we're just going to sign her up for all the single races that she can do. And I thought about Henley, but they had such a great showing at Rowfest and it was great. Um, that I was like, you know what, maybe Henley, she doesn't need to do that this year. It's
Mhm.
fine. So yeah, so she won't be there. She's literally going to be in classes.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Yeah.
It's really early, but that's great. So your girls
Hmm.
are doing Henley.
Yeah, so my daughter is. My son is going into ninth grade, so he's not in that group yet. But yeah, so this is her second year going up there.
Awesome.
Yep.
Such a great.
So we'll be there all week because her first ti heat is on Tuesday. She's got two heats on Tuesday, and then one of her heats is on Friday. So at the very least, we're there Tuesday through Friday.
Oh my God, I'm so
Yep.
jealous.
But actually, we have to head up on Monday.
Adrian,
But
did you race Henley? Have you raced it?
I think I raced it maybe once, and I think I was like filling in. It was like one of these things where somebody was sick, and they're like, "Does anybody live close enough?" And like, I'm in Rochester, so like it was like a summer thing, and I was like, "Okay, I can just scoot up there and do it." And I think I filled in once, maybe in college, if during
Mhm.
one of the summers, but I haven't raced it. And I have a doubles partner, and every year she's like, "Are we gonna do Henley?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we're gonna do Henley." And then like we get close to it, and they do the Masters that first weekend. And my daughter and my husband share a birthday on the 3rd of August. And so it always tends to fall really close to that. And I spend the whole weekend doing birthday stuff with them. So I'm momming very hard this weekend for birthday for my husband and for my daughter. So yeah, it just never works out. I always think that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be able to sneak away and go do it. And no, I'm home.
Better doing birthday stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Well, tell us about Rowfest. Like tell us all about it. Like
Yes.
did it run
So
well and all that good stuff.
yeah, it was honestly amazing. Like,
Aw.
so we row for a club, Indianapolis Rowing Center, which is great. Like they do fall and spring programming, but they're not really big on summer programming. Like it's very chill and lax, but because Devin, like she's pretty competitive and she has some teammates that are very competitive. So like knowing, I mean, you guys know, like you rode, as younger people, and so did I. I was like, okay, we can actually sign our girls up to go to this race. So we did. Like, so I signed up Devin to go in the single, and then her friends signed up in the single as well. And then we had four of them, very competitive girls, that were all going in the single. So I was like, all right, let's just sign up for the quad. Like that'll be, we're there. We can
nice.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
Vespoli was great. They rented us a quad, which was fantastic. I have Alex, so he like sorry, I'm just gonna put my thing down here. But yeah, he rigged the quad for us and it was great. And yeah, and they killed it. I mean, it was really interesting because the quad was on a Sunday and they had smaller boat races on a Saturday. So they were, I don't want to say they were exhausted, but they had races. Like all of them were doing the single, they were all doing the double. Um, but when Sunday rolled around, I was like, I mean, they're all like, these girls are committed and they're like, they want to win a heat, right? Like they want to win the heat. And I'm like, listen, you don't need to win a heat. There's no hardware for a heat, right?
Yep.
Qualify, qualify,
Hmm.
and do what you need to do. And they were like, "Oh," like I could tell because in the smaller boat, yeah, you're laughing, Kate. You're like, you get
Hmm.
it. Um, in the smaller boat heats, they always wanted to win. And I'm like, you don't
Hmm.
need to win the heat, just like qualify. It's all good. So they did that in the heat, and then they beat boats in the final that had beaten them in the heat, like Penny C.
Wow.
And yeah,
Nice.
so
Good for
farmers,
them.
like, yeah, so they came home with bronze and it was amazing.
Yay.
They were so, so psyched. Yeah, it was awesome. It was a
Oh,
really great experience. And honestly, like, um, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it correctly, but Ypsilanti or Ypsilanti is
Hmm.
the
Yep.
like town. Ypsilanti, I think it is.
Ypsilanti,
And
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, so perfect venue. Um, I really hope that they consider it for like future races because it was amazing. The girls loved it. US rowing did, I think they did a great job. Yeah, it was
Good. Nice. We have one of the girls that Hannah's rowing with this summer is going to Eastern Michigan, and I think that's their course. I
oh,
think that's
yes,
where they
it
row
is.
out of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and one of the girls that Devin rode with when she was a novice, Brooke, she graduated, I guess, when Devin was she wasn't a freshman. I think no, I guess maybe she did. She rode with Dev and she never rode before. Like that was her first year and she went to Eastern Michigan and that's her
Oh,
course. Yeah.
that's so funny that Hannah's friend is also named Brooke.
Okay. Yeah, she was, I
So
mean,
they're gonna have two Brooks, I guess.
yeah, well, it's crazy. Like she was very, very tall and had so much potential. I mean, I think when IRC saw her, they were like, oh man, like this girl is going places. And I think, yeah, she like, I think her first erg test was like, I don't know, 730 something. And that now she's like in the teens. So yeah,
Yeah. That's insane. I
I know.
couldn't imagine.
So
And
is
first,
it a community rowing program?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So
Oh,
IRC
can you?
is,
Yeah.
oh, can you hear?
Yeah, I'm wondering if I'm on a delay though. But anyway, so it's a community rowing program like close
Yeah, it's
by. Do the other
correct.
high school
Yeah. So
programs too?
yeah, so it is the only program here in central Indiana, which is, you know, all the high schools in the suburbs of Indianapolis.
oh,
Okay.
Yeah, so we get kids from everywhere, like probably from a maybe 60-mile radius.
oh wow.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So how big is the team just itself? Like how many kids do they usually field each year?
So I think I mean, the one issue with Indianapolis is it's kind of I don't know if you've ever rode at Eagle Creek. I mean,
Mhm.
so they have held races there. They've held like Pan Ams there. They've held worlds there. Um, and they've held like they used to have like elite nationals. Like I don't know. So I'm older than you. So like I mean, Kate, you did high school rowing though, right?
Yes. Yep.
Adrian, did you row in high school?
I didn't row in high school, but Kate did.
Okay. So like earlier on, there was actually US rowing was based in Indianapolis. Like, so they
Mm.
used to have all of the club rowing stuff and the elite nationals here at Eagle Creek.
Mm.
Um, yeah, but I mean, the system has changed so much, but regardless.
Mhm.
Anyway, yeah, so we have a course, a full 8-lane buoyed course here. It has a finished tower. It's actually really conducive to like 2K racing and yeah. But I think
Nice.
the challenge is getting people to like get to Eagle Creek because it's far. Like for me, it's 30
Mm.
minutes. I don't know
Yeah.
how long it takes you guys to get your rowing venues, but for us it's 30 minutes, which and it's longer for some people. It's shorter for some
Sure.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Adrian, how far are you, Adrian, from where you row out of?
I'm about 25 minutes, almost
Hmm.
30. It just depends. Like there's other places that potentially could have rowing, but they just don't have rowing right now. So like my town, Greece, is on the Erie Canal and could have rowing. So the canal is like 10 minutes from me. Lake Ontario is like 10 minutes from me, but there's no rowing setup on my side of town. Everything that tends to be on the other side of town on the east side. So that's where like Pittsford Crew and Fairport Crew
Huh.
and Genesee Waterway Center is downtown. And then
Yeah.
there's a couple of clubs that are kind of downtown in like that, where they would had the what do they call it? They called it the Stonehurst Invitational way back
Oh
Hmm.
yeah.
out of the
Hmm.
Genesee.
Was that like the Bausch and Lomb, or is that?
I
Yes.
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that I mean, so that was a big like back in the day, it was a big race, and the guy who was like one of the coordinators and the referee for it, he used to ref like everywhere across the country. So he would get a lot of these coaches to bring their teams out. Like at one point, they're like Brown and Cornell, like everybody was coming to do the Stonehurst Invitational because it is a full proper 5K. There's turns, there's bridges,
Mhm.
so it's very it harkens back to the idea of the head of the Charles, and it happens 2 weeks before, so people could
Mhm.
get that type of race in that long, like true 5K, even though what is it, 47? What's Charles, 47? Da, 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 da.
Oh,
Something
I always
on there. It's
forget.
not a
I
full
have
5K,
a
but it's
pin
close.
that says it too.
Yeah, so it's close. So like that was always the thing. And so when they had like the way back when they had that really tight base of refs and people who were doing that race, it got very, very big. But now it's more of like a local race now. Not a lot of
Oh,
big teams come out. It's still run over 2 days, and there's like a college day, and then they have like a master's slash high school day. So that's kind of how it runs now. It's not necessarily as big as it used to be, but it's still a fun race. It's still a nice race to get out there and start off the beginning of October with. So
yeah. So what is like, what team are you with?
I'm not with a team per se right now. I was executive director over at Genesee Waterways for like about 2 years. It was probably like a year and a half. So that's kind of the team that I do a lot more things. Like I go and I'll substitute coach for them and that kind of thing. And actually I'm running my rowing clinic, like my PT, my physical therapy clinic kind of runs out of their erg room right now because I'm looking for a commercial space still. So that's kind of, and that's where I keep my double. And I'm actually going to be bringing the single out there probably tomorrow. I don't know. It's going to rain tomorrow. So I wanted to bring it on a day where I could like actually like bring it there, row it, and then put it in the boathouse. So I might wait another day or so to bring it down there. But yeah, yeah.
So, so you guys, so you row on the Erie Canal then?
So, like Genesee Waterways sits on the crossroads between the Erie Canal and the Genesee River. So you can row on the Genesee heading south, pretty much indefinitely.
Okay.
But if you row it going north, you run into like there's falls. There's like a couple set of falls that
Okay.
go before you get to like as the Genesee runs out into Lake Ontario.
Okay.
One of the other rivers besides the Nile that runs north. I know it's because I used to say it's the only other river, but like there's a
You're
couple
so
other rivers
smart.
that run north. I don't say that anymore.
I remember, like, I feel like I remember you did like, were you like biomedical engineering or some crazy stuff? Like,
Oh, well, I was physical therapy, but who
maybe that's what it was. I was like, you're very, like, yeah, in tune with your academics.
And I think like when I think about the group of people from UB, like we're it's just such an interesting group of I mean, because you're a lawyer, I mean like I do PT and Kate's school counseling and like just the kind of wide group of people like
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think I
And
mean
like Wendy was like, she was crazy. She was, I think, not PT. What
I think
she
she
was,
was she anthropology? I remember her being like
yes, but
anthropology,
Hmm.
her
she was
master's
doing
in
medical stuff and like
yeah.
cadavers and everything.
And then nurse, because
Yeah.
Now she's a nurse.
she's a nurse
Yeah.
practitioner,
Hmm.
And
right?
she was
So
like midwife for a
yeah,
little
Hmm.
bit. Yeah.
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 Yeah. And then Penn and yeah. I
Hmm.
yeah, it's crazy all the people we encountered rowing at UB. I mean, I did not row with you guys. I was a few years
Hmm.
before, but just it was the same track,
Hmm.
everyone's like super dedicated to their academics and
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Take us back. So like when you got to
Hmm.
UP, you didn't start out rowing. You were lacrosse, right?
yes. So I was not a sport going to Buffalo. Like I honestly, I went there. My older sister went there, so it was like easy. My parents knew it. I'm from New York, like in-state tuition, great. And then I had a great roommate who was very athletic, and she's like, Lisa, you really need to join lacrosse. It's great. Like you're athletic. I mean, I did sports in high school. So I did that for 2 years and it was super fun. And I met a lot of people from crew and people were like, you're tall, you should try it. So I did a learn to row like the summer before my senior year because I'm from Long Island. So, and it was like the town was offering one, like a learn to row. So I did it and I went back and this is funny. I mean, I don't know if I told you guys, but um, went back to Buffalo and Alex is my husband now, right? Like
Hmm.
he was the
Hmm.
coach. I have to explain. I'm like, he was the volunteer coach. He had an actual job. Like it was not his real job. Like he was an engineer, everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I went to practice and I was like, I kind of know how to row. Like maybe I should just do an erg test with the girls that are experienced to see. And I did an erg test and I pulled a 741. So like pretty much beat, I think the only person who
Hmm.
was maybe Wendy and like maybe Nicole, like, but yeah, so Alex was like, wow, like you seem to have some strength. Like maybe we'll put you in a boat. And yeah, so then I obviously like was put in like funneled into the varsity group. So it was great. So that was my story with UB. And yeah, so then I graduated and still wanted to row, but I just did a lot of erging and I met a really nice guy at Westside. Actually, it was John Fisher. I don't know if you,
Oh yeah, I
Bill
know that
Fisher, like,
name. Did
Yeah.
he coach for Canisius?
I don't know if he
Or
coached, like,
okay.
he may have like
Hmm.
I don't know a ton, like he was super super nice. You know what he wrote a Dorigo single. I don't okay, so
Yeah, we
you're
talk
like
about
laughing.
Drigos.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I thought that was super keen. I'm like, oh my God, this Dorigo's beautiful. This yellow boat,
Yellow.
it's so pretty. I actually have a picture on our uh
Hmm.
one of our tables outside of me in the Dorigo single. But I mean, Dorigo's not like around anymore, right?
Hmm.
Anyway,
Yeah.
he was like, yeah, 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 you can row my single. Super nice guy. And yeah, so I just kept rowing the single. I took it to Head of the Ohio. That was like my first race
Hmm.
ever. Super scary because
Hmm.
it's rough. I mean, it's always rough.
Yeah.
I had the Ohio, but yeah, and I just kept doing that and going to speed orders and yeah. And then I think what happened was I I think I did really well at Crash Bees one
Hmm.
year. I
Hmm.
pulled like sub seven. I was like 655
Wow.
something. And yes, and that's why New York AC actually was there. And they were like, okay, well, why don't you come down and train with us? And I did. And that's when I won Henley that year. And then I think Tom Terhar, who was the coach of the national team, was like, okay, if you can pull this 6K ERG score, you can come out to Chula Vista and train with us. So I did. I made the score. And yeah, now I didn't make the world
So
team.
cool.
Whatever.
Well,
I mean, like, what was
That
that
was my
experience
story.
like? Yeah, what was that experience like being out there and training and
yeah.
It
like,
was so amazing. Like, I mean, back then, like I was older than some of the a lot, almost all the girls like that were there. I was probably like pushing, I don't know, 30. Like I was probably 28 and they had graduated from college. But yeah, I was out there with all the girls that were probably in the 2004, 8,
Hmm.
and some in the 2008 that were our medalists. It was amazing. It was a great opportunity. Like I can't like ever say I regret
Hmm.
anything because I mean I had to like I did put some work on hold, but my
Hmm.
employers were great about it. Like they, kept me part-time and I was doing work as a lawyer, so it was fine. But yeah, no, no regrets. I mean, that's the thing. It's like unless you try it, like you're never
Hmm.
gonna know if you can do it, right?
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, cool. Now, I remember when we talked to Wendy, she said she was talking about when you both rode for St. Catherine's. So obviously that was before then, right? That was like shortly after you
Yeah.
graduated. Hmm.
Yeah. So St. Catherine's, I think we did definitely together. It was probably the year after we last did Westwood. So maybe like 1998.
Hmm.
And yeah, no, I remember it. It's so funny because I actually texted her after I listened to her podcast, and I didn't remember. I was like, like Rudy Wheeler was the coach, and he was
Hmm.
so amazing. I don't. Did you guys ever work with Rudy?
I didn't work
I
with Rudy.
You
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, because you had
Hmm.
Rudy though, right? You had Rudy.
I
Oh no.
No, I never had him as a coach, but I think he started right after I graduated, and then when I think I was coaching for Burn Hills. I think that's right. Or I was still kind of connected with Burn Hills when I came back home. I had talked to him about coming out and doing some kind of like, so he was really gracious. He came and talked to a bunch of them, and then like we had dinner at the diner together, and like I think his son. But yeah, so we stayed in touch a little bit after that. But yeah, I never worked with him as like a rower and coach and that or anything like that.
Yeah, I thought he was a great coach.
Mhm.
But it was funny some of the things Wendy was talking about the rock in the boat. Because he was a bigger man, right? So he
Hmm.
was like, "You girls have to put the rock in the boat," and I had totally forgotten about that. So I texted Wendy and I was like, "What are you talking about the rock?" She's like, "Don't you remember?" I'm like, "Oh my God, I totally forgot." Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, no, he was fantastic. I mean, this is a thing. Like, and now I'm giving back to, I feel like I'm giving back to some rowers now at Indianapolis. I had so many great coaches from
Mm.
Rudy, from Tom Terhar, from Igor Grinko. I
Mhm.
mean, even the coach I had at Saugatuck, who is James Mangan, he coached, he was Irish and he was at Saugatuck for a long time, but just amazing skill. And that's the thing is like, I feel like it's so valuable when you kind of go around to different clubs and get the input from other coaches that haven't have insight that maybe you have not learned before. And
Hmm.
so I mean I did it for a long time. Like I kind of was very, very focused on it. And I mean, probably my husband wasn't, well, Alex was super supportive. Like don't even, he was
Hmm.
like, because he was a rower. I mean, he
Hmm.
rowed for Queens and yeah, and he was the coach for UB. So
Hmm.
very, very supportive. So, and now we have a daughter, and the fact that we can both give back because there are a
Hmm.
lot of intricacies and there are a lot of
Yeah.
nuances that you're not going to learn unless you've experienced it.
Yep.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
No,
big,
that's great.
yeah,
Hmm.
like and so you're coaching now, you're coaching the Masters team. So how often are you out there with the megaphone?
So I just started, it's funny because we have two kids. We have a son who did row for a little bit, but I have to say, like, it wasn't entirely his thing. Like, he did cross country and he was more focused on other areas like academics. He was very into politics, and so rowing was not really his thing. So, which is great. But and then with Devin, she loved it right away, and yeah. So it was more. I think we sort of kind of honed in with her. So your question about like me out there with the megaphone, I mean, I've been involved with IRC with Indianapolis for a while, but until probably recently, I was not ready to go back to it because I mean, you guys probably know, like when you do it your whole life, you kind of need a break. And
Hmm.
yeah, you need a break. And I had a break for a long time. But when I started to see people asking questions and my like just saying, why don't you try this? And they were like, oh God, that helped a ton. Like that was so helpful. I was like, maybe I should just go back and help. So yeah, so I did like the whole like like first, what is it? coaching level one or something, like the boating license and all that
That's
stuff.
the level. Hmm.
Yeah. And then they were like, the masters would love an assistant coach. So yeah. So that's what I'm doing right now. I mean, I would love to just do some private lessons with people who need help because we have so many juniors and masters that have tremendous power, but they
Hmm.
are not applying it. Right. So it's like, it's
Hmm.
heartbreaking to me to like see them in a race and it's like, oh my God, if they just had
Hmm.
a little bit of coaching, maybe they could have
Hmm.
taken, 50 meters off. And yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the reason why I get people in the double. I just love, like, I love sitting in the bow and, like, it's different than sitting in the launch because sometimes I do need, like, that launch perspective because sometimes I'm like, I can't see around what you're doing. But like sitting in the bow and then feeling what they're doing. Like
Yep.
I was working with a guy this week and he's only been rowing for about maybe 4 years and he's just getting into the part where he wants to be. He's a master's. I think he's, mid 60s and he's just getting to the point where he's competitive and he wants to go faster. And we were working on starts and like the part that he's not getting is you know how in a start it has like a feel to it, it has a
Yes.
rhythm to it.
Yes.
Um,
Hmm.
like
You
he's
don't want to rip it. You need to
yeah,
lock in, right?
Hmm.
yeah, like
Yeah.
we're
Yep.
talking about how like that first stroke, like I'm like feel the pressure underneath your feet.
Hmm.
Don't try to pull the handle. Like we're trying to because he's trying to like
Connection.
oh yeah, he's trying to like pull the
Hmm.
handle through the water. I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm like, we are lifting the boat out of the water. We are push like just trying to get
Hmm.
him to feel that. And I love
Yeah.
being in the bow because I can sit behind him and I can do a start and give him like the input and he can feel what it's supposed to feel like and then he can try it and then we
Yeah.
can try it together, which is different than like coaching from a launch because you can't give them like I can't put like I love to push on the foot plate and be like, feel this. This
Hmm.
is what I'm
You can almost like feel his lats and be like, are you connecting?
exactly,
You don't want
exactly.
to be like getting in trouble, but I mean, like, yeah,
Yeah.
But I mean, like there's something about like I love the private lesson. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
if like I love being a coach and being in the launch and being able
Hmm.
to I love coaching an eight and making my eyes blurry and trying to figure out who's
Hmm.
doing what, who's
Right.
doing what
Who's
where.
off? Who's
Who's
not
off? But
with
but
everyone else?
nothing, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's nothing like being in the boat and like especially like I had a junior that I was working with and he was doing something. I was trying to figure out like I kept telling him the seat is loose. I'm like the seat's loose. I'm like I don't know what you're doing, but the seat is loose. Like he would come off the drive and there was like this second where I feel like he was moving the handle but not the seat and it was creating this feeling in the boat like the seat was loose and I'm like you need to connect that seat and that handle so we're that we're so there isn't the seat's not being loose on the drive and he's like what are you talking about and like I would get behind him and I would do some
Uh,
strokes where like I'm really connecting the seat and handle and then he's like oh okay he's like I can feel because after
maybe
a while he could notice the strokes where the seat was loose and he was kind of leaving the handle behind, but still kind of
I
moving the seat, but not really shooting his tail. Like it wasn't as
was gonna say shooting the drive, like,
yeah, yeah. It
yeah,
wasn't as obvious that it was like ever so slight fraction of a second, but that type of stuff makes a big difference when you want to go faster. Like you have
yeah,
to
Hmm.
understand that connection and that's why I mean if you can get in the boat with people and do one-on-one in the double, I love that. I feel like it's a whole nother level of coaching because like you're actually like tactilely feeling what they're doing when they're rowing. It's different. I mean, I love being in the
yeah.
launch, but I love being in the boat
Hmm.
too.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
nowadays with the speed coaches, which is like, I mean, we used to have speed
Hmm.
coaches, but had the impeller that now it's all GPS,
Hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
it's an immediate feedback. So if they are
Mhm.
moving the boat faster, they're going to see it on the screen.
Yeah.
I mean, they would
Hmm.
have, but it's just, I mean, I know Devin gets very excited. She's like, "Oh my God, I did this, and then my splits, were going down." And yeah,
Hmm.
so Yeah.
We were just talking about that at practice. John, one of the other masters rower who took a single out tonight. I took the single out tonight as well. And both of us have boats that have impellers on them still. Like his is actually a newer boat. He decided to do that because he has an app that does the GPS and then he compares it so he knows like when he's in a current. So like he can tell like the boat speed and then if the GPS is a little bit different than that, then for like the distance, then he can tell when he's like in a current, based on the split.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's really smart. I never thought of that. He's like, yeah. He's like, I don't need the GPS one because I have it right here on my phone. And then he uses the impeller. And we have an older boat. It was a Millennium Vespoli, so it's from like 2000. And we still have the impeller on it. And when Hannah got in the boat, she's like, Mom, what is that sound? I don't know if it's supposed to make that sound. I always remembered it making a sound. But I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
the
that's just the
impeller?
impeller, don't worry about it. Yeah, yeah, like it's like kind of like a vibrating sound.
Really?
So maybe it's a
Oh,
little like crunchy in there. It needs to be cleaned
okay.
out or something. But um yeah, but we have our speed coach somewhere. I have to find it and get a new battery for it because it would be really helpful. I mean, I've raced it, let's see, twice now. Once in wow, I just zoomed out. Once in a head race ahead of the fish and once at a local, like, 2000 a meter course in it was on our course. And but other than that, I mean, I don't really race it, so I don't have anything like serious in terms of tools, but
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I
it
just go
seems,
out there and row.
I mean,
Yeah.
Devin, she has like, we bought a single. Well, this is funny. Alex bought a single for himself. I mean, he deserved, like, I'm like, okay, you're worked a lot of year. Like, I mean, obviously he's gonna buy what he wants, but it's funny, like, Devin started rowing and she's like, I kind of want to row the single. And so she's rowing his single, but
Hmm.
I think they both have speed coaches. And we bought Devin a speed coach because she used it for the quad and if she rows a double. But yeah, it's all GPS. And I think, I think it really helps the girls because, you know,
Hmm.
it's not like it's like an erg. Like it tells them how fast they're going
Hmm.
and it motivates
Yeah.
them. And, on the alternative, like if they're not doing well, they're like, okay, what's wrong? So yeah.
Hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's cool.
So, so is so how old is Devin? So she's just
So she's 16. She just finished her sophomore year. And this is crazy. And I don't know if you guys, well, Kate, your daughter like is going to college, like she's looking at colleges, right? And Adrian, you have kids at,
Yeah, she's gonna be a
right?
senior.
Okay, so she's a senior, and Adrian, how old are your kids?
my oldest is going to be a junior this year,
And he's a boy?
boy, and then I have a senior right now in high school, and then also my daughter's the sophomore in high school, and then I have a seventh grader too, so he kind of
Okay.
rounds out the group.
So this whole recruiting thing is like totally new to me, and I don't know, Kate, maybe you could like shed some light because like Devin, we passed that June 15th marker, right? Where the coaches could email her and talk to her and she's had calls and everything and it's great. But yeah, I mean it's kind of crazy. Like I don't know
Hmm.
what to expect. I mean, obviously, like we're telling her, like you need to keep up on your updates, like your ergs, your races, everything. So, but she's just at the beginning, so I'm not really sure what to
Hmm.
expect.
Yeah, no, it's a wild ride, and I don't think Hannah was probably like at the top of most of the list just because she started a little bit later, and she's just never like I think she's taken one or test, like maybe two. They just don't do it very often, so she doesn't really have a good score to report. Not motivated to do it on her own either. And she's kind of like figured out and so and which I think is great. Like I think it's a good fit for her, and she's been talking to a lot of coaches in that grouping. Um, but it's funny to see, and I think I talked this about this before, but it's funny to see like the different styles that coaches have. Um, and you could tell the ones that are really skilled at it, and it doesn't always seem to line up with what you would expect, right? Like sometimes like a faster program you might think would have better recruiters, or maybe not because they don't have to recruit as hard. So it's kind of interesting to see. It's just like a skill set that certain coaches have that are better at it, seemingly. Um, and also like there's that funnel, right? Like in sales, there's a sales funnel. Whereas like if you capture a lot of people that maybe like there's plenty of them that you like are really far from what you're looking for, but you just are like keeping them in the funnel for longer, and then you start to narrow down after looking at your program as an athlete and if you're interested in them as an athlete, like as they progress and as they get like further along. So it's been really interesting to see it from the parent side. Um, but it can be really overwhelming. It's like you don't want to like cut anyone out that might be a possibility, but you kind of have to because otherwise it's just too much. And then you start making relationships, right? Like we the first real experience that we had was last summer before Henley. We stopped at it was kind of partially like selfish on my part because I was like, oh, I want to go see what West Side's like. And now Canisius is a varsity program, D1. So I connected with the coach there and I was like, any chance we can, see the boathouse, meet you. And so we did a college tour. That's where Chris actually, my husband, went to college and he rode there. So we're figuring like, why not? Like, obviously, she should check it out. A bunch of his family went there. So it was a really cool experience. But, you start making these relationships. Like he connected Hannah with some of the rowers that were rowing for Westside that were there that go to Canisius. So she got to know them. Chris was there. He got to meet them. And then, like, if you go on visits, you spend time with the team. Like, you get to know them that way. I mean, the kids are like connecting on their own, like they're either DMing each other through Instagram or like saying, making little comments on things. Um, and so that's really hard to do at a big scale and feel authentic, right? So
Right.
that's another thing. It's really hard to like, plus, I don't know about your daughter, but Hannah is really bad about following up on email. So it's like it's like, okay, you gotta respond to the emails, to some extent you have to like let people know, how was your race? How's it going? And that sometimes is a lot to keep up with. So yeah, I mean, it sounds like Devon's got a great big future in this, so I'm sure she'll definitely have a lot of this ahead of her. Which is good, and I think once like for us, the big key was trying to identify early on a really good fit where you're not going too far of a reach to begin with. Like you have that experience with something that's like a really good fit, like not necessarily maybe like a safety school, but like a target school, somewhere where, you're not too worried about them getting in.
Yes.
Um, and like it's a good fit with like what you've seen about the team. So that after that, everything has to kind of like meet or exceed that, right? So that
Mhm.
helps narrow things down too, because even if you start at like a place where she's got a really good chance of getting in, like grade wise, like above the average, like above
Mhm.
what their typical students like. And then you're like, okay, but now we want to look at these more competitive schools. Like, okay, well, if this was a good experience, and then you go to something that's going to be a little bit more of a reach school, like, okay, that reach school has to deliver on like, what did you like about this other place, right? Like, sometimes it's really neat to get into this like name brand school, but do you like it? Like, is it as good as this
Yeah.
other place that you really felt like you could see yourself and feel at home? So, and I think that's kind of been our experience, but I'm sure there's all different kinds of experience too. There's a lot of girls on our team that are much more on the competitive end and are doing D1 and they were looking at different things and working towards it in a different way. So yeah,
Mhm.
but I think that's the cool thing about this sport is that even somebody who starts off like kind of how you did at the end of your college career and look where you went, you weren't somebody who rode for years and years. The same thing can happen at the high school level, right? We've got kids who start as like juniors and seniors. They can still get recruited, or you could be a walk-on, you know?
Yeah.
So I think
And you
that's a
know
cool
what?
thing.
That is funny that you brought that up because that was one of the things I was like, oh, I would love to, pick your brain because I did not do junior rowing. Like I didn't do junior rowing. I didn't even do early college rowing. And you both did. Like Kate, you did junior rowing, right? Like you were involved in it.
Hmm.
And then when Devin started
Yeah.
doing it, it's a whole different world because when I started rowing, like I did it my senior
Hmm.
year in college, but then I was really independent and I was just going off with my single
Hmm.
and going to races and like that was my thing. So like when Devin started, it's very interesting because when Devin started rowing with IRC, right away I was like, we're getting her a single because if things don't work out with the club, like right, I mean, if it's not, you would never know. So we did, and Alex agreed. Like we're like, okay, she's gonna do the single, and she did, and it was fantastic. And when we did that, a lot of other girls did the same thing because they were like, okay, like we're gonna do the single. And honestly, like with Rowfest, and I maybe I had a conversation with you about this, was like, we just went to Rowfest. We were like, we're just going to Rowfest, and we like rented boats. I think I reached out to you guys about
Hmm.
looking for boats because I think that is such a valuable experience to just for parents and juniors to be like, we can do this. Like we can take our car, we can car top our single, we can get a boat. And it was such a phenomenal experience. But that was the thing, like I was not used to the junior experience, like kind of being tied to a club. So I was like, we're doing a single, like we're gonna do that. And I think that is a valuable experience for young people. I know it was for the girls that did
Hmm.
it at IRC. I mean, all of them, like we had, so our quad won a bronze, and then we had another girl in the quad, amazing, amazing rower, first year rower, like her first year. She competed in the U23 lightweight, got third in it. Like she's amazing and she's getting recruited. Like she is, yeah. So like
Hmm.
just opening up those opportunities for those girls who
Hmm.
are willing to do it and their parents. It was a
Hmm.
fantastic summer. Like just not even
Yeah.
with like the medals or whatever, but just like there were so many girls that
Hmm.
got that opportunity. So it was great.
Hmm.
And I think they
Yeah.
learn to take ownership over the experience too, because I think when
Hmm.
you
Yeah.
row in a juniors program or you row in a college program, you're very much separated from all the logistics that are involved with registration for
Oh,
races,
yeah.
picking up your packet information, like knowing where you need to be and what time you have to be there. Like,
Yep.
do you have to go to the coaches and coxswains meeting? Do you
Yep.
like your coach kind of babies you and insulates you from all of
Yes.
those things that need to be done, but you have to be like, you've got to be on the water on time. Like they need to know that you're on there because when you get up to the
Yep.
start, if you're not there, if you're late to your launching
You're
time,
gonna get a
that's on
penalty.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on you. Like,
Warning.
so they learn a lot, and
Mhm.
I think it opens up the sport too,
Yeah.
because then a lot of times if you grow up in like that juniors or that college experience, you think that you can't just like go and sign up for a race. You don't even know how to like register on Regatta Central or something. Like you just don't know how to put all the pieces together to do it. And I think sometimes the like teams can kind of act as gatekeepers a little
Yeah.
bit in
Yeah.
that sense, and kind of like, oh well, my
Mhm.
team's not going to this race. I can't go to this race, which is not true. Like,
Not true. Yeah. Yeah. And, I mean, everyone wants to like abide by the rules and like, but yeah, no, but that is, obviously like Alex and I were very independent with our own rowing. So we're like, we're just going to do this. And I just think it's such a great skill for parents to have to be like, okay, well, you can row with a team, but say if you want to go to head of the Schuylkill and row unaffiliated, if they allow it, or, like, go ahead. Like the world's your oyster. So just go ahead. Yeah.
it's amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
So what's next? I mean, for if so Devin has her junior year coming up. There's going
Yeah.
to be
Yeah. How did the training work with that? Oh, sorry.
oh sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Ask your question. I don't know
What
if
was that? The training what?
Oh,
What
I
were you
must
saying?
be on a delay.
you're on a slight
Um,
Oh,
delay
Katie's
because
frozen on my
yeah, so like
yeah.
how was the training though?
she's frozen.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh, like training for
Now I'm
RoFast?
frozen. Adrian, can you hear me?
I can hear you,
Well,
but
just
there's a
without
really
being part of a club. Yeah, so without being
Yeah,
part of a club, I was just curious, like, how do you train without
yeah.
having, like, were you given a launch or like, were you
No,
coaching the kids? Like,
so
I'm just curious about that.
well, with IRC, so Alex and I are both members and we both have, well, we own two singles and then like we're members so we can row club boats. So the way that we would work it with Devin was Alex and I would go out in a double or he would go out in his single with Devin and he would it's funny because it's kind of the same thing he used to do with me when I was training like he would race her like he would race me and I'd be like of course all annoyed and I'm like you're faster than me why are you kicking my ass every day whatever but it's funny because Devin is now faster than Alex but yeah that's what he would that's
awesome.
what he would do he would go out with her and train with
Hmm.
her over the summer and then as they got closer to RoFest there were some parents that wanted to organize like private lessons and that's how we got the quad to come together.
Hmm.
But yeah, so as long as like there's the rules are as long as we're members and then
Hmm.
Devin is a member, like we can train with her. But she is doing the teen program now in the fall. But I mean, we've taken her like last winter, we took her down to Benderson for like a week around Christmas break. And it was, I think the rules have changed, so I'm not sure if we can do that with Benderson anymore, but I like rented a launch and I took her out there. But yeah, I don't know if the
Oh,
only reason I did,
wow.
yeah, the only reason I did that last year is because she was not skilled in the single. So I wanted her to get some skills, but I'm not sure if I would do that again, but yeah. Yeah. So, but she trains with the team mostly.
Hmm.
She can go out with us when she
Hmm.
wants
So when she rows with the team,
to.
does she do mostly sculling or does she get sweep time in with the team?
So last year they actually had a pretty successful eight. So they like pretty much Devin rode in the 1v8. And then gosh, what was it? I think in the fall she was like in fours. Like they split them up, yeah, into fours. But then in the spring they did a 1v8 and then quads. So they did a 1v quad and a 2v quad. And they did okay at nationals. I think they were in the B final. I think they were like sixth in the B final. But
Mhm.
I think
Wow.
yeah, it was okay. But I mean, at Rowfest, honestly, like
Hmm.
they beat, I think found like they beat one of the boats that was like third at nationals, but we had some lineup changes. So yeah,
Hmm.
I mean, I think it's just gonna happen. They're gonna be doing probably seat racing and kind of jockeying for because I think most of the girls are going to be there for the next 2 years. Like Devin is going to be a junior, so she'll have a junior year, senior year. And I think most of them will have maybe one of them is a senior this year. So they have some room. They have some wiggle room.
Hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Their coach
Cool.
is looking forward to it. So yeah. And we are.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So are you doing any racing this fall, Lisa?
Oh my God. So last year, or Alex and I raced a mixed double at Hooch. I know
Oh.
it was so much fun. Like, yeah, so I don't know if we're gonna race, but we do go out in the double and it's super fun. Like I really like it. Alex likes rowing the single too. I mean, I don't know if he likes rowing the double with me or not. But I think he does. I'm like, I think it's good. I mean, whatever. But yeah, we do. We row it.
Mhm.
But anyway, do you guys row like are you still rowing, racing? What are you doing?
Every once in a while, I
Oh,
mean, like,
So tell me, Adrian, tell me about this double. What is this dumpster double? Like,
so I was hanging out with Dave Cusano at CRI.
oh my God, too funny.
We were both taking this biomechanics course from, I think, I can't think of the man's name from Hudson. His name is Dan, but he was hosting this course, and there was one portion of the course where we had to go to CRI, so we show up, and so
Here
Dave
in Boston?
in Boston, yeah.
Oh my
So
God, too funny.
I roll up to Boston, and Dave's like got the diesel truck, and he's got the trailer. I'm like, Dave, why did you bring your trailer to this? I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm picking up boats. I'm like, oh, fantastic. And he's like, yeah, they gave me, I forget how many eights they gave him, like literally gave him these boats because it was right during that transition when they were working with Hudson and they changed
Was
all
this when
the,
they were moving into the new boathouse?
yeah,
Like
they
this
changed
spring?
everything over to Hudson, all red Hudsons, like
Okay.
so anything that wasn't a red Hudson had to go. So they gave him a bunch of boats, and so just joking around was because he was like, "Oh, can you stay after class?" Because it was the end of the day. He's like, "Can you help me with the boats on the trailer?" So we were moving some fours. They helped us. We had a couple other people help us move some eights, and I was just joking with him. I was like, "Hey, do you have any more boats?" I'm like, "I'm looking for a double." And the guy from CRI is like, "Yeah, we have a double. It's in the drainage ditch, and there's too much snow for you to take it right now." He's like, "When the snow's gone, you can come back and get it." So I got this text message, and he's like, "The snow's gone." Like a couple months later, he's like, "Snow's gone. If you want the double, come and get it because otherwise we're gonna hacksaw it and put it in a dumpster." And so that's how it kind of got the dumpster double name. So
Oh my
my
God.
friend who I rode the double with wasn't able to come out and help me get the boat. And of course, I don't have a trailer or anything, so I'm gonna roll up with my minivan. And so I texted Kate like out of the blue. I was like, "Hey Kate, like I need somebody who's got like some rowing know-how to ride with me out here and like I'd love to catch up." So, I drove to pick up Kate. Kate got in the car. We drove to Boston.
You drove to like Albany?
Yeah, yeah, I drove to Albany, then I drove to
yeah.
Boston. We stayed overnight, and in the
Yep.
morning, we rolled up to CRI, took all the equipment, like got pair riggers, got the boat, put it on top of my minivan.
Oh my God.
Um, we're like literally like looking up online you do snip
Yeah.
flats. Like it was like
The
the
slip.
time
Yeah.
flats. We didn't know how to do them. So we're strapping it down. It's like the most like like half put together thing because I didn't have a rack
hmm
for it. So it's literally on the minivan rack, like the factory rack.
Mhm.
I think we tried towels around the actual poles. We did straps and
hmm
then we did bungees across the
Oh
top
my gosh, you guys are so funny.
Yep.
and then ropes from the front of from like
And
the
ropes.
and these ropes still are in my car because I keep them in there because every once in a while I have to put a boat on top of my car. Like I'll have to do in a couple days to take the single down to the boathouse, and I still haven't bought a rack. So if anyone's out there and has an extra rack, a single or double rack, please just let me know and I'll buy it from you. Um, and we put it all on there and white knuckled it all the way back.
Alex Hansen would be very impressed with you because yeah, he's always like whenever we strap boats down, I mean, he's the guy that
It
he's
was,
like,
I mean, it
owned
was
it.
probably the most hair-raising experience ever because I knew eventually I'd have to like let Kate go. I like had to leave her in Albany. And so I was gonna have to drive from Albany to
Oh,
Rochester.
you had to go to Rochester.
So yeah,
Huh?
so
Yeah.
like it was a beautiful day. I think it was bright and sunny when we picked the boat up. I
Mhm.
dropped Kate off. I think it was starting to snow. And then I
hmm
think by the time I hit Syracuse, it was like snowing. So like I'm
hmm
driving a minivan with like this boat that's way too long for it on top and like people are like, I'm driving 55, any faster than 55 and the boat's like going like this on top of the car and like, oh my gosh, it was wild. It was wild and I would never, well, I would never say never. The dumpster double, I mean, she's a sweetheart. She's a workhorse. It's a double I take everybody out in. It's a 2014 Wintech. Uh,
That's pretty new.
well,
Oh,
yeah,
Tech. That's pretty
I'm a
new.
Wintech club racer. I mean, it's the hull is very D-shaped, so she's very nice. Like it's not hard to balance at all. I can take brand new people out in it, and we can start rowing together within, 30. 40 minutes, like people are comfortable enough in it. So it's like it's really the perfect boat. I couldn't have picked out a boat any
Yeah.
better for like my uses, which is like A to like kind of recreational slash train row for like head races that are local. And
Yeah.
and then taking out people one on one to just do, technique work. Like, that's a lot of times what I use it for is people who are trying to advance their single skills, but
Yeah.
they need some balance just to kind of practice some of those harder drills that they're just not going to do right away in the single. Like I can get them to do them and try them and get comfortable with them before I can like throw them back in their single and be like, you just got to do it now. You just like some of the drills, you just have to kind of trust that it's going to be okay when you're doing them. So,
Yeah. Do you
yeah,
know the history of WinTech?
I don't know the history of Windtack.
So WinTech was a boat company. I think it was initiated, I know it was initiated by Howard Winklevoss. So
Uh-huh.
like the Winklevoss twins, like Cameron and
Yeah, yeah.
Tyler, did you know that? Um,
Hmm.
so Howard Winklevoss, uh, I think he owns Saugatuck. So I wrote at Saugatuck, but yeah, so that is the history behind WinTech, and that's why it's Win Tech. It
Yeah.
was a boat company he started, but I think he sold it.
Oh,
It's not owned by him anymore, but
okay.
Because I think
a bit
Windtack
of
and
trivia.
But
are together,
they're
right?
also part of King too, right?
They may have, I mean,
They're
he
associated with
started
King or
the boat company.
Yeah, I think they've merged. I think the two of
It's
them.
hmm
very, very possible. Yeah. So he
it
started
merged. Okay. Hmm.
ago. I mean, this was like 2000, probably 2003, 2004 when WinTech was started. So, and then I think he divested that company. But yeah, that's why it's called WinTech.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's so fun to just, I mean, the stories get wild and, you just like it's a typical rowing story, the other thing was, Dave Cusano is my go-to guy because like he found the dumpster double was because of Dave. I was given the front of an erg, but not the back. And so, how does this happen at boathouses? How do fronts of
You
erg
like the fan?
like just the like the mechanical part without the rail, like how do they not live together, how do they get separated, who knows. So the boathouse was going to throw it out.
Hmm.
I was like, no, this is a perfectly good working erg. And I was like, you know who I need to talk to because I know someone has a rail sitting around, would be Dave Cusano. So I call him up and he's like, of course I got a bunch of rails. He's like, somebody gave him a bunch of like mixed match ergs at one point and he had them
You
sitting up
guys, right?
the,
Were
the
they in
back.
Syracuse?
Dave's in Syracuse said Chargers in
Hmm.
the fall, right? Kate, and then
And yeah. Hmm.
Fayetteville during the school,
Fayetteville. Hmm.
yeah, during the spring because they do like a composite team and then they split up into Scholastic in the spring. So, but he's
Yeah.
he's always he's my go-to for, and Dave is still looking for a set of, I think, Resolute riggers. So if anyone has any Resolute riggers, like
We
roll,
do have a Resolute at our boathouse. It's a double, but I mean, it's using the riggers. But
yeah, he's looking for. I think he has an 8 and one. I think maybe one or two of the riggers is like bent or something like that. So he's on a wild goose chase to try to find
Hmm.
the correct the correct parts for it. But yeah, he's definitely my go-to when I'm looking for something random like that. And he lucked upon a bunch of C2 frames. He talked about that in the podcast that he just
Hmm.
randomly
okay.
was talking to someone who owned like a fitness company and who thought that everybody would want to buy two sliders with their ergs, so they stocked a bunch of them and never sold them, and so then they gave them to Dave. So Dave has like 1,000 slides, like,
Oh,
and
really?
so yeah, he picked up all the kids during the spring. It's really
A
great.
thousand.
Well, not 1,000, but like it just like an insane amount to
Oh.
have with that many ergs. Like every girl was he had like 20 or 30 girls on who are on ergs.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of
Hmm.
children like all sliding on sliders and they were all hooked together. I'm like, this is wild. I had never seen so many. Like the team I coached for, they had enough to connect an 8. And so we would do the 8 every once in a
Wow.
while. We'd do a 4, or we'd do a couple of doubles. But yeah, he had all his kids on
Mhm.
sliders, which helps, you
It
know.
does help.
Mhm.
It honestly helps. And we never had that. Like I didn't have that. And you guys probably didn't have that when you were in college, right? Like slider, were they a thing? I mean, I
Maybe
know
my
for me
senior
it wasn't
year we had him. Did
ever.
Mm-mm.
Kate. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, wait. No, we did. I feel like we did with Meg. I feel like
Meg.
were you so Adrian, when you were there, do you remember we would work in the squash room, the
Yeah.
old squash room?
Yep.
Yeah, so I remember pulling them out into the hallway near the squash room
I
and
remember
we
being in
connected
the
them there.
hallway.
Yeah, so I think they were like brand new at that
They
point.
were pretty brand new. But it's
Sorry, I'm
crazy.
trying to
Like,
be careful because I know I'm on a weird delay, so
oh,
yeah.
so we went
Hmm.
to Boston this past weekend and I was there with Devin. Her cousin actually is a walk-on at Harvard on the crew team.
Uh,
So she took us into the boathouse and they have, this is amazing. Like they have, and maybe I'm totally old school and out of it, but they have not, they have sliders, but they also have a system where you can connect the person next to you, right? So like you're in tune with the person next to you in the which is awesome because you're learning how to match their movements next to you,
yep.
which yeah, so that to me is
Hmm.
huge. I mean, I think they're just trying to create these systems and devices that can match everybody on land, right? So yeah. So that's amazing to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, it'd be great for high schoolers.
Oh yeah.
But the other thing that I was gonna say that I was laughing at when I listened to your other podcast was the story about the Dorigo falling off the trailer. Todd, I think it was Todd.
Yeah, and I think
Remember?
Todd
I
is
think
like blaming Wendy, or no, Wendy blamed Todd.
Hmm.
I think
I don't know who tied it down. I thought it was Neil driving the trailer. Like but that was my first year rowing. That was because I only rowed senior year, right? So that was my fall schuylkill. Like that was my only, and I was so new, but like hearing about that, and it was like seeing it. I mean, literally, it was like a corpse lying on the ground because I mean, it's terrible, but like it showed up, and it was you guys. That was the four. I think it was Ian, Neil, Chris Wilhelm, maybe Todd. Oh yeah. It was the four heavyweight four,
Mhm.
and I don't think the boat was insured. Like I think they took it with them. So yeah,
Yeah, I think it was, yeah, there was like a whole snafu about like they had just gotten
strap.
it and it hadn't been
Yeah,
added to their insurance policy, but they brought it anyway. So it's a cautionary tale.
it
Cautionary.
is a cautionary tale. But I remember seeing it and I not really understanding because I was so new at rowing, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so horrible. But like not realizing, oh my God, this is like a $20,000 boat or whatever it was. I mean, I don't know how much it cost back then, but it was, yeah, it was. But those are
Hmm.
the stories. Those are the stories. Hey,
But
I see that picture behind you. That's a buffalo, right?
Hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
that's a,
It is, yeah. And then I got the head of the fish over there in the corner or the side. I don't know if you could
the
see
fish
that, the head
head?
of the fish.
Is it the actual fish head?
No, no, no. It's a poster.
Oh, okay.
No, it's a poster and it's a head of the fish poster.
I did get
So
a.
it's
Did
got
you guys have a? Did you ever get a fish head?
all different like of the logos.
Oh,
I've never
cute.
gotten a fish head.
I
I
did. I
got third
love
one
this.
year.
What's that?
Oh man. I I'm gonna let you guys finish this off because I'm on a weird delay, so it's a
Oh,
really messing with everything. But I'm enjoying just listening to you guys. So
wrap it
I'll let
up.
you guys take it out and might have to cut this part out.
So Lisa, when did you win your fish head?
Oh, it was the novice single race at Head of the Fish, and it was probably, I guess it was probably 1998. So I had just, borrowed that Dorigo single from John Fisher, who was super nice. And yeah, I think I rode his single and I got the fish head. I still have the plaque, but the fish, like it's an actual, I think it's an actual fish head. So it disintegrates like after a while. And I think it kind of fell off. So I still have the plaque, but the fish head is like missing. But yeah.
That's
Ah,
so my next question is, what other memorabilia do you still have from either UB or from the national team, or like what's still floating around X
oh,
amount of years later from all
you know
these?
what's funny? So when I won Henley, the 2002, I won it for New York Athletic Club. And I have the like they give you a plaque. It's like they give you a medal, obviously, but they give you a plaque that's like really nice. And the coach, Vinny Ventura, who is like legendary, he was the coach at New York AC. I remember saying to him, like, you take the plaque. Like, it's not, it's New York Athletic Club's plaque. And he was like, no, Lisa, you keep it. And I was like, I think it really should go on your wall, like at the club. Like, I've got my medal. And he refused to take it. And I still have it. And it's funny because I ran in when we went to Benderson over the winter with Devin. I ran into a guy, his name is Tom Off,
Mhm.
and he actually is an Olympian. I think he rode in at least two Olympics and maybe the lightweight four. And he rode for New York Athletic Club. And he is like legendary with rowing. And he was down there and he was talking to me about he rode for New York Athletic Club. And I'm like, yeah, like I rode, and he was saying like New York AC is trying to kind of like revamp their trophy hallway because they have so many trophies, so many plaques for because New York Athletic Club was like there were so many Olympians and national team members that rode for New York AC before they went on to win worlds or national or Olympic medals. And I was saying to him, I'm like, well, I've got this plaque, like I can give it to you, like, and like my contribution would be so small because he's like, well, there's a lot of people who have like Olympic medals and so and not that he was minimizing, but it was just telling to me like this club has so many plaques and medals or whatever, and like my contribution is I mean it's something, but it's like super tiny compared. And I was like, I've got this plaque. But anyway, I have that plaque. I don't know, anything else? Probably not. Oh, Alex has like he's very proud of this. He has, I think, a second place head of the Charles medal. Pulls
Ooh,
that out and shows Devin, like,
nice one.
but yeah, but that's what I have. That's it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for chatting with us
I
today.
know.
Like, we'll
This
have,
was so fun, you guys.
I know we'll have to invite you back. You can give us more updates on what Devon's doing and
Yes.
like
And
more coaching activities and as they're
yeah, yeah, yeah,
due.
absolutely.
Like,
And yeah, so the girls, it was funny because we were talking, I'm like, listen, if you do really well, and like maybe you can get on this podcast if you win a medal, like so yeah, they're gonna be ones to watch, I think, but there's so many fast girls. I mean, it's crazy. People are
we'd love to have them on. That would be super
yeah,
fun to kind of
yeah,
get
we'll see
like
how they
the
do.
youth,
We'll track their progress.
yeah, like the youth version of like and see what it feels like to kind of be rowing it in real time now. Like,
They would be, yeah, they would be hilarious. And well, Kate, your daughter Rose, I mean, right? So she's like, oh, is she, can you not?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah. So
can.
yeah, so she's, I mean, you get it. Like,
hmm
I
Yeah,
just feel
yeah,
like the like talking to the junior rowers, like in
hmm
their realm is like a different world entirely. So I think that's really interesting.
yeah,
yeah, we'll have to schedule something
yeah.
like
I always volunteer. I always try to volunteer for like chaperoning or like carpool or anything like that because I love to hear what's going on and what their experiences are like and get to
Yeah,
know them a little bit.
yeah, yeah. Okay, well, that sounds great.
yeah,
We should
we'll
definitely.
get that scheduled
Yeah,
and we'll do kind of maybe we'll do like a juniors roundtable or something
yeah,
like that. That might be kind of fun.
yeah. If you need help sending extra.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
love to do that.
it would be a great idea. We'll have to get
Oh,
that set. Well, everybody take care. This was so much
It
fun.
was so good to see you guys, really. I'm
It's
so
good. It's
glad you're
good to
doing
catch up,
well.
and I'm glad that rowing is still such a huge part of your life, and
Yeah,
still enjoying it, and still getting out there and doing a bunch. So
yeah,
it's really
me too.
exciting.
This is great. This obviously, I mean, what you guys are doing is fantastic, and
Thank
really
you.
love listening to your episodes.
Well, we're trying our best. We're trying to keep it interesting
Doing
and
great.
fun. And as we kind of look into the fall schedule, hopefully there'll be some fun stuff to chat about as we get back out there and try to do some head racing this fall.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, sounds good. Everybody take
all
care.
right.
Thanks for listening and
Bye, ladies. Thank
get
you
the
so
episode
much.
Bye.
rolling.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye. You guys
Bye.
take care.